All right, so turn off the lights. It's a browser extension, and you've been really diving deep into this thing, and it's celebrating kind of a big anniversary, right?
Yeah, it is.
15 years. 15 years. For a piece of software, that's pretty impressive.
It's pretty remarkable, actually.
Yeah. So we're going to take a deep dive today into this and figure out why it's so popular.
Okay.
And maybe uncover some hidden depths along the way. I mean, you've given us articles, reviews, how-to videos, like the whole shebang.
Yeah, there's a lot of material out there on it, which is interesting in itself.
It is. So what's striking? Like, what's the first thing that jumps out at you from all this?
Well, I think one of the most interesting things is how much it's evolved. I was looking back at its debut way back in 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was really laser focused on one thing, dimming the web page so you could, have a better video experience.
Mm-hmm.
But now, with over 2 million users and these consistently high ratings, like we're talking 4.76 stars on the Chrome store.
Wow.
It's clearly become something much, much bigger.
Yeah. I mean, you see that reflected in the reviews, right? Like, everyone's talking about that cinematic experience.
Right.
And I get that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you want to just minimize distractions when you're watching a video. It's like, I love a good movie theater. You get pulled in, but hopefully without the sticky floors.
Exactly. Yeah, and it speaks to a larger trend we're seeing, I think. Users wanting more control, right? Over their digital environment, like the whole rise of dark mode everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Phones, apps, websites, it's all about that. And Turn Off the Lights actually taps into that with its night mode.
Okay.
Basically, you can shift any web page into a darker theme, easier on the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes way beyond dimming for videos. It's about tailoring your whole online experience.
Interesting. So then there's this atmosphere lighting thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Color me curious on this one, because like at first glance, I gotta say, it sounds a little gimmicky.
Right.
Like, how does that even work?
Well, it's surprisingly sophisticated, actually. What it does is the extension analyzes like the video content you're watching in real time.
Okay.
And then it creates a surrounding glow on your screen that matches the colors and intensity of what's happening on screen.
Oh.
Yeah. So like if you're watching a sunset, you get these warm hues kind of bleeding out around the video player.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see how that would be way more immersive, for sure.
Yeah, it's really neat.
But hold on, there's even more, right?
Oh, yeah, there's more.
You sent me some stuff about like controlling YouTube playback with a game controller.
Right.
And simulating rain on any web page. And it even works on Samsung phones. This is blowing my mind a little.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's true. It's a lot packed into this seemingly simple extension.
Right. Yeah, it's like with that feature list, it's not just a handy tool anymore. It's like it's something way more powerful. Like they took this simple idea and just kept asking, like, okay, what else? What else can we do with this?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great example of how a tool can become a platform for innovation. And not just from the developers themselves, but from users too.
Oh, yeah.
Because those power user features you mentioned, they're not just there for fun, although they are fun.
Yeah.
But they really do tap into that desire we have for customization, right?
Yeah.
Like bending our digital world to our liking.
Yeah.
Making it ours,
Totally. And the fact that Turn Off the Lights is free and open source, that adds a whole other layer to this, right?
It does, yeah.
Can you remind us what open source means in this context and why it matters so much?
Sure. So open source software means basically the code behind the extension is publicly available. Anyone can look at it, understand how it works. They could even modify it or contribute to its development.
Wow.
So it's really like the opposite of those closed off walled gardens we see so much in tech,
Oh, right. Yeah. And that's huge, right?
It is, yeah. Especially now, you're right, where people are so much more aware of data privacy.
Yeah.
And, who's controlling our online experience. It's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this open approach, it really empowers users. You're not just along for the ride. You can actually grab the wheel if you want to.
I like that, grabbing the wheel.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
And that ethos of transparency, user control,
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more vital as we, navigate this whole world of big tech.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to think, we started off talking about just dimming the lights to watch videos.
It's funny how these things evolve. Right?
It is. Yeah. But it speaks to, they're listening to their users, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's constant innovation, it seems like.
And that brings up another point, actually. So we've been talking about all these features, but how does it actually work across so many different websites?
Right.
I mean, you're talking YouTube, Vimeo, news sites, even social media.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
That's not a small thing. That's not a small feat to pull off.
It's really not.
Yeah.
It's kind of magic, honestly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, break down the magic for us.
all right, well, magic. So basically, instead of like trying to reinvent the wheel for every single platform out there,
Yeah.
it interacts with like the underlying code of web pages,
Okay.
but it does it in a really, really clever way. It can spot video players wherever they are on a page and then adjust all the stuff around it accordingly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that makes it super adaptable.
Makes sense.
And it'll stay compatible, even as websites change their designs and update and all that.
So it's like a chameleon almost.
It is a chameleon of the browser extension world.
Cool. Blending right in. I love it. One thing that surprised me looking through all this stuff was all of the glowing reviews from educators.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of teachers were saying how helpful it's been in the classroom. I never would have thought about that.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of a tool designed for one thing, finding like completely unexpected uses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. In a classroom, being able to minimize distractions,
Right.
create that more focused learning environment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gold.
Right.
That's valuable, especially now in, today's digital classrooms.
Absolutely. So it's like you have instant focus mode for any lesson.
Exactly.
I mean, we've got dimming, we've got atmosphere lighting, game controller controls, rain.
That's a lot.
At this point, what can't this extension do?
Right. What can't it do?
It really is like the Swiss Army knife of browser extensions.
It kind of is, yeah.
But, for all that, one thing that really comes up in the reviews is how user-friendly it is.
Right. And that's key, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what good's a powerful tool if it's like impossible to figure out?
Exactly.
You've really struck that balance, like functionality, but also it's got to be accessible,
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe why it appeals to such a broad range of people.
For sure. For sure. It's got to be something you actually enjoy using too, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So of all these amazing features we've been talking about, is there one that really stands out to you?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's a lot. But
It is. I think, I keep coming back to that atmosphere lighting.
Really?
Yeah. It might seem like, kind of a small thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just visual flair.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, it hints at something bigger, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This whole idea of ambient computing, technology kind of like fading into the background,
Right, right.
It's not this separate thing anymore. It's just part of your surroundings.
So it's more like an extension of your environment almost.
Exactly. Yeah. And turn off the lights. It gives us this glimpse into how that could play out.
Yeah.
It's not just about dimming the lights. It's about setting the mood,
Interesting.
creating that atmosphere that just complements your digital life.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it makes you think about all those basic tools we use every day differently.
Right.
Like, what's the turn off the lights for note-taking apps or to-do lists?
Exactly.
Or even just email. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's the exciting thing about tech. There's always more to discover.
Always something new.
More potential waiting to be unlocked.
Yeah.
And so often, it starts with this simple idea, just wanting to solve one specific problem.
Yeah.
Who knew that wanting to just dim the lights while you watch videos would lead to something so innovative, so forward-thinking?
It really is amazing. And it reminds us, too, that innovation, it can come from the most unexpected places.
Absolutely.
And even those most basic tools, they can evolve in ways that we never could have imagined.
It's true.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into turn off the lights, I think a virtual toast is in order, right?
Absolutely.
The 15 years of a simple idea that's made a real impact, and to all those possibilities still out there waiting to be discovered.
Hear, hear. And to never underestimating, a good idea, a passionate community, and maybe a little digital magic along the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on that note, I think I'm gonna go poke around my browser extensions, see what potential I'm missing out on.
Good idea.
Always more to uncover, right?
Always.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time.